Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday's Live. We made it to the end of the week. Woohoo! I am so excited. Hope everybody has some fun plans for the weekend. I know up here in New England it's going to be a little bit rainy. But I guess that comes with the territory of fall, that we have some fall rainy days, right? All right, so with that in mind, today, as you saw on my Instagram, and hopefully those of you on Facebook saw this as well, I have recently been watching the Netflix documentary about the blue zones. I have actually been intrigued about these blue zones far before this documentary came out. Now, what are these blue zones? These blue zones are areas in the world that has the greatest population of centenarians, or those that are living above 100 years old. Some of them, oh, there was one that was 110. And there are some great principles that they're instilling into their everyday life that is really promoting longevity and health. Now, yes, we're looking for promoting longevity and health, but I've heard that in America, how is this conducive to us applying this in America? Well, it is actually very practical, and I know this myself because I've been implementing a lot of these very same principles into my nutritional routine, my training routine, and my life. I have seen great benefits. I have seen, as I shared before, I was delivered from eating disorders. I was healed from autoimmune conditions. My training got much better. I was in the midst of training for an Ironman 70.3 this particular year, and I actually healed in the process. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to talk about how some of those principles can really relate to really improving your athletic performance, and how you can even incorporate those in. If you're busy, guess what? Sometimes you have to just make time for these things, and it's nourishing yourself and not, it's not making excuses, because by implementing these things, you are going to not only help your training, but in the long run, help your health and help your mental health, and everything else is going to fall into place around you. All right, so with that, I'm going to introduce myself. Hello, my name is Drew Mulvey. I am a certified dietitian nutritionist. I am a board certified nutrition specialist specializing in disordered eating in female athletes. I am also a certified integrative sports nutritionist. So that is implementing other alternative care tools such as alternative testing, lifestyle changes, supplementation, all of those fun things, along with exercise and nutrition that really help to build your best performance. I am a certified personal trainer. I am a certified leap therapist, which is a specific food sensitivity protocol based off of mediator release testing. It's about 92% accurate and specific, and it's phenomenal for athletic performance, because one of the things that could be hindering you is underlying food sensitivities that you don't know about. I am also a precision nutrition level 1 coach, which is more of that holistic aspect, as well as really integrating nutrition for optimal performance in any sport that you're in. All right, so with that in mind, some of the concepts that they talked about in the blue zones. So there are five. I thought that there were 7, but there are 5 different blue zones. There is Nicoya in Costa Rica. There is Loma Linda in California. So yay, we have one in the United States. There is Sardinia. There is Okinawa, so Japan. There are 2 other ones as well, and I know one of them is in Greece. But some of the principles that they really underlie, it's not just nutrition, but it's actually other things that really help to enhance one's viability, or I shouldn't say viability. That's not the right word. Vitality. Oh my gosh, viability, vitality. Happy Friday, everybody. And these are some of the principles that really you can implement into your athletic training. Actually, interestingly enough, in my certified integrative sports nutritionist course, as well as precision nutrition, they actually emphasized incorporating these things, especially if you have a lot of events back to back and you're really in your season. It's very important. So one of the things that we're going to talk about first is the nutrition. A lot of these places implement a vegetarian or vegan diet. As it was said in the Netflix documentary, that especially in Loma Linda, a lot of their principles and practices are based on the Seventh-day Adventists, which were really big proponents of health. Yay! Very excited about that. And they were promoting more of a vegan and vegetarian diet, so really increasing the plant material. In Okinawa, a lot of their diets came from what they picked from the garden. They were living on purple sweet potatoes. A lot of their Their nutrients came from carbohydrates. Even Nicoya, Costa Rica, a lot of it was carbohydrates. But does that necessarily mean that you have to have a huge base of carbohydrates? Well, I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But finishing that, there was a large focus on carbohydrates, but there was also a large focus just on plant material as well as the preparation of the food. So you go into Sicily and they're really, oh, their food is just so vibrant. In fact, this is what the Mediterranean diet is based off of, that there's plant-based protein such as beans, there's nuts and seeds in there as well. In Okinawa, there is tofu that they make themselves, so a fermented soy product. Organic is very important to do that. And also tempeh as well as a fermented soy product. So it is very important for your gut bacteria. So using plant-based protein such as that, but also integrating a lot of fruits and vegetables in soups, in even breads. They were using the power of whole grains, really dense whole grains. I know one of them we're talking about sourdough bread. Now, sourdough bread, so if you're having your typical white bread, incorporating a sourdough bread in the morning or when you're having a dinner time meal, especially if you're an endurance athlete, you're going to need those complex carbohydrates. So yes, I am a very big proponent of plant-based diets. I think that these are instrumental in how you are going to perform. Plus, carbohydrates are essential for decreasing cortisol levels, and they really help to kind of calm you down a little bit too. So no wonder these people are, oh, they're nice and happy. So how can you implement this into your routine as an athlete? You're probably saying, well, they also had a different exercise routine, that they didn't really go to the gym and exercise, and we're sitting all the time. We're doing this, we're doing that. We don't have access to this, we don't have access to that. All right, so if we stay in that mindset, then we are not going to be able to discover this beauty of how we can incorporate these principles. So one of the things, I shouldn't say one of the things, but here are the things that I've been implementing into my particular routine, and I have seen amazing results. So utilizing really great plant-based whole foods, as well as having those emotional, enjoyable foods. Why is that? Because these plant-based foods, so fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, I do have tofu and I do have beans in there. No, I am not a vegetarian, I'm not a vegan, I'll get to that in a second. But implementing these particular raw materials into your body are going to be able to give your body the fuel that it needs in order to withstand the tasks that are given to you. So there's antioxidants in there. A lot of the green vegetables have a lot of magnesium and a lot of great other compounds and antioxidants as well. Those complex carbohydrates have fibers in them that help to feed beneficial gut bacteria, which if you're an endurance athlete or even an athlete in general, you're putting extra demands on your body and your gut can get a little compromised from that. So it's really important that you're feeding that really beneficial bacteria. You have loads of color in there, so you're getting all these different diversity of nutrients. So how is it that you can apply these in? Oh, back up. But how about protein needs? Okay, so yes, they are living a little bit more of a simpler lifestyle. And when we are in our sport and the demands of our sport, it really requires protein. Why is that? Because there's inflammatory proteins that are going up after our exercise and compounds that are being generated in our body that can actually eat up our muscles. So protein is going to be very important along with those antioxidants and those other materials that you need to be able to kind of cool the fire a little bit. So you need to have a healthy balance of both. Now for athletes, it's typically 1.2 to 2.0 grams per kilogram for a protein needs depending on what your sport is. Carbohydrates, it's going to be dependent on what your sport is. It can go up to, if you're working out below an hour, then that's going to be about 3 to 4 grams per kilogram. If you're working out for several hours and it's more of an endurance base, then you're probably going to need upwards of, I'm going to give you a general range. It's going to be upwards of about 6 to even 10 grams per kilogram or 12 grams per kilogram. That's a lot, the 12 grams per kilogram. I haven't even gotten to that. But still, it's an emphasis on those whole food complex sources. Now, for the simpler sources, fruit juices are going to be very good. So whole pressed fruit juices purees, things that are going to be easily digestible, and fruits can also be easily digestible as well. So incorporating those in, plus you're getting a slew of other nutrients in there. I am still a proponent of, yes, incorporating gels. I'm a big fan of Morton gels. I'm a big fan of Huma gels. I'm also a big fan of just having some purees on you as well, and Cliff Bars as well. Those are more of a whole food, plant-based kind of source. I shouldn't say plant-based, but more of a whole food sources, so that it's giving you all these different nutrients, so it really helps to propel you in your sport. So yes, it is going to be important to still incorporate the wild-caught fish, the grass-fed proteins, grass-fed pasture-raised meats, grass-fed dairy if you don't have any sort of a dairy sensitivity or a dairy allergy, as well as pastured eggs, plus incorporating like the Mediterranean diet, getting those beans in there, a lot of fruits and vegetables and whole grains, and using even bone broth in your soups. That gives you extra healing properties, and getting as many vegetables in there as possible. Olive oil has one of the richest source of antioxidants for your body. So the more bitter taste that it is, the more antioxidants that are going to be in it. But there's also other things that you can incorporate too. Cooking with lard is actually a very good thing because it can be reused. So it's really trying to steer away from those trans fats, those hydrogenated oils, some of those plant-based oils such as cottonseed oil, I'm not a big fan of. So, and implementing more of those naturally occurring oils. So coconut oil I am still a proponent of too. So what we want to see is, yes, we want to still have the meat, but a majority of what you're going to be eating is really going to be colorful. Plus, you're having emotional, enjoyable foods in there. Like, I love burgers, I love fries, I love ice cream. So make sure that you implement those in there, because there's also an emotional component and a social component as well, especially when you are going out with people. Speaking of people, the next thing that comes up is community. So why is it that community is going to be so important for your athletic health? Well, I can say this in particular, that I have been in situations where I was not in a very supportive environment. And from that, I felt that I was not performing as well. My mental state was not as well. And I really wasn't able to live up to my full potential. So having that community around you, in fact, we are communal creatures and we're created to be that way. By having that community and building up that supportive community, this is going to be especially crucial to those with disordered eating. Now, going back to the nutrition, that is why you find that precious balance between these whole foods where you're nourishing yourself and you're actually starting to feel better and you're seeing what you're capable of, but also having those emotional satisfying foods where you're not shaming yourself or guilting yourself. That's the relationship with yourself, that you are nourishing yourself. So very important that you have that nice balance, and that can help to break those disordered eating and restrictive mindsets that you don't necessarily want to have when you are an athlete, actually in general. All right, so community, again, having a group of people. This could be family. So one of the things that they talk about is family. They talk about finding your own tribe, and they also talk about spirituality. So all of those can be combined. I know for me, when I became a born again Christian and I got into the church and I found the right sort of people, that really encouraged me. When I found what I was passionate about, my cycling group has been the most amazing, some of the most amazing people that I've had in my life, and I have been surrounding myself with those people. Have there been some hiccups? Of course there has been some hiccups. But in the meantime, by surrounding yourself with that community and then implementing those principles into your team sport as well, it will help you to thrive. What else can it help you to thrive with? Actually, gut health. So, isolation has been linked to impaired gut health because it can actually increase inflammation in your body, because it puts a stressor on your body. We weren't meant to be isolated. So think of somebody that's going through a rough time and, they're really confused about their food and they're kind of hiding it. They don't find that supportive environment in their team. Are they really going to perform well? No, they're not really going to be performing very well. So by enhancing that community aspect, putting them in the right sort of tribe, finding the right, even family can be blood, it can be non-blood too, but finding that right environment that's going to help them to thrive. A, it's going to help them mentally, but B, it actually helps with their gut health, and that's going to help to improve immunity, improve their mood, improve digestion and assimilation of nutrients, so that they're actually recovering much better from their sports. So if you feel like you're kind of a loner, you're kind of introverted, guess what? Hello, everybody. I am an extroverted introvert. I completely get you. I love people, but then I need to have my alone time too. Find that balance for you. Find other, maybe there's other athletes that are introverts, but really try to build a community where we're supporting each other. You're pouring into somebody and then they're pouring into you. And that is just going to help you to thrive. So this principle of community in the blue zone and applying that to your particular athletic endeavors is going to be key, and I know this. Another one that I want to talk about too is, well, they didn't necessarily allude to this in the Blue Zones documentary, but nature. One of the things that I think it was Okinawa in particular, they were going out and they were gardening. They were walking from place to place. They were getting fresh air. And what happens is that we might be just going to our sport and then sitting or doing this or doing that, but then we might not be able to have that actual interaction with nature. And that is incredibly important. So, why is it important that we incorporate that nature into our routine? Well, first of all, it helps to balance electrons and ground us. So, what that does to our body actually decreases inflammation and it can help with our mental health and our mental well being. By being more grounded, you're able to withstand more of the demands, not only in life, but of your sport too. I can even say this that I went out into nature on Sunday for a while. When I came back, I had something happen on Monday and my reaction was completely different, and I have felt pretty good this week. So implementing that by decreasing inflammatory proteins in your body, breathing, getting fresh air, balancing those electrons are going to be incredibly important for your athletic performance. Now, what has been the problem with, okay, how about when you're working? But Drew, I can't get out. Opening a window and getting fresh air can also be very beneficial as you have direct contact with the outside, as well as it's going to be helping your gut microbes. Yes, it's going to be helping your gut microbes, and it helps to increase diversity in your gut microbes. That's also what nature does, is it actually helps to increase the diversity of gut microbiota, biota in your gut. So it's going to help with all those things that I mentioned before with the fiber. Now, what's really hindering us from being able to incorporate this? We're on our TV screens, we're on our phones, we're on our computers, we're this, we're that, and we're probably doing this. Yes, I have an online business too, and I completely understand that you have those demands. But here are some ways that you can start to kind of decrease the amount of EMF or electromagnetic frequency that you're being exposed to, because that can be an extra stressor on your body and take us away from nature. Go out into nature for a little bit and reground. Sometimes if I have to, what I've been doing recently is opening a window when I am doing work, sitting outside under the patio when I am doing work, so that there is that nice balancing effect that you're getting. Turning your phone off by a certain time at night and either putting it in the other room or putting it on airplane mode so you're not getting that electromagnetic frequency. So it's not putting that stressor on your body. Making sure you have a cutoff with TV. Making sure, how about, I'm going to challenge everybody this next week to see how much time that instead of TV, limit your TV and then go for a walk. Go sit out in nature. It's going to be a beautiful, it's the fall time. It's beautiful. Really go out and enjoy the beautiful weather. Now, for those of you that are cyclists and runners, this is going to be very beneficial for you because you're already outside. But what other ways can you implement this so that you're getting the benefits of the outside world? Endurance athletes, you do very well with body weight work, so incorporating TRX bands and taking that outside, bringing kettlebells outside and doing your strength workout outside. You can be even running barefoot on the grass, and that's actually better for your knees and for your hips anyway. And there was another one that, well, you're running and you're cycling, so obviously being outside and taking some time off so that you're doing that restorative active recovery. So hiking, maybe Sundays, going for a nature walk, making sure you're really getting outside and into the woods. If you are in New York City, going into Central Park, I know that there is not much that You need to take the train in order to get out to the countryside, going into Central Park, making sure that you have plants all around your place so that you have some sort of nature, that you're touching nature, and that does help to ground you. Incorporating us. There are salt spas that are absolutely amazing. There is our Epsom salt baths, which is very important to incorporate. Having a salt lamp, having essential oils that will calm you down, because essential oils is that nature that's helping you out. So, what's really the underlying principle of all of these? Well, first of all, and when you're balancing your electrons, you're much more grounded, and when you're in a state of disordered eating, you're not grounded. You're probably type A, overachieving, perfectionist, you're probably very highly disciplined, or you just have low self-esteem, you're constantly punishing yourself, and it's just a cycle, an endless cycle. So by really starting to find these principles and integrate and be more grounded, you start to find more of yourself too, and that is where the underlying principle is: connection. You're seeing connection with family, connection with friends, connection with your team, connection with yourself. That is the most important one. Connection with nature, connection with your food. So, really, by making the time and making the space to have these instead of using the excuse, well, I'm too busy, you'll start to see longevity in your sports because inflammatory proteins are going to start to go down. You're utilizing the raw materials of the earth to actually help with your brain, help with your heart, help repair your muscles, and probably even helping you with better sleep as well, because you're getting those nutrients. Setting a time, it's not setting a timer, but having a strict time where you're not on TV or you're not on your phone, and really starting to decompress at night so that you're not exposed to the EMF. That is where the rest and recovery is really going to happen, with that sleep as well. Maybe incorporating a grounding mat. Go camping if you can. And for those of you that are in warmer environments, go camping. Really get connected with the ground, and you'll start to see how much better you're training, how much better you're feeling, and how much more connected you are with your food. Have fun with it. But create new soups, incorporate some of these principles. So the Mediterranean diet is really, really great, incorporating all those different whole foods so that you have variety. You don't have to be a vegetarian or a vegan, but really bump up the plant-based material in your particular diet. And this will really, really help you out with several other components in your life, not just your athletic performance. All right, so we covered community, nutrition, and nature in particular. I believe that that is all I wanted to cover today. So I thank you so much for coming in, and thank you so much for supporting me. So if this has really resonated with you, I know these principles I've started to really incorporate into my life, and I have found healing from so many things in my life. And I have found healing in the midst of almost relapsing in January with an autoimmune condition, to being able to train for an Ironman 70.3 utilizing these principles. So it is key to your athletic performance, and it is possible. So if you are really confused about how to implement these things, and you feel like you're not grounded, and you feel like food is black or white, and you're living in this restriction, and you're completely confused and overwhelmed, and you're maybe confused and overwhelmed as to why you're not increasing your energy or stamina, or why you're not meeting your athletic goals, and then you're starting to get to be hopeless about meeting those athletic goals, well, guess what? I've been there, and I'm here for you. Let's set up an icebreaker call. I want to hear all about it. So you're going to be, basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about your goals. I'm going to be giving you some tips as well. And we're going to kind of find a clear-cut vision for you as to what the next steps are going to be for you to optimize your athletic performance. Now, me personally, I'm a board certified nutrition specialist, and I am a certified integrative sports nutritionist. So technically, I am an integrative health practitioner that is specializing in disordered eating, and even have a sub-niche of autoimmunity. I really help you to transform your relationship with food, to reconnect with yourself, and really ignite your true athletic potential. So if that sounds like you, and you just don't know what is going on, and you feel like you're in this mental prison, let's talk. I am ready to get you out of it, and I'm ready to walk you through so that you get to an amazing place where you start seeing the manifestation of your goals. All right, so that particular link is going to be in my bio. If there are any other questions, also another way that you can incorporate these principles, I utilize them in my membership group. The membership group has been so much fun. We share each other's feeds, we share different recipes, we utilize seasonal produce and other different food items into our monthly challenges. You get access to my vault of recipe tutorials, so really incorporating those really emotionally satisfying and nutrient dense meals in there and really connecting with food again. Plus, you have an amazing community of people that are encouraging you and supporting you. So, guess what? This membership program was very much based on many of these Blue Zone principles. So, that is only $27 a month. You do have to sign up at the beginning of the month to be incorporated into the challenge, but I would absolutely love to have you in. $27 a month, that's absolutely nothing, and you're getting all these things, plus you get a Q&A with me at the end of the month. So I will put, for those of you that are on Facebook, I will put the link in the comments below, and then for those of you on Instagram, I'll still put the link in the comments below. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Friday. Again, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate all of you very much, and I really hope that you have gathered a lot of information. If this was helpful to you and you know that this is going to be helpful to others, please be sure to share and please be sure to like. That also really helps the algorithm so that I get a lot more exposure so people can really start igniting their true athletic potential. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Friday. Take care. Bye-bye.